According to the US Bureau, the average age of retirement is 64 years old. For us, early retirement would be anywhere between 18 years old to 44 years old. I mean, even 50 years old. Just as long as you're before 64 years old, that would be considered early retirement. There are two different ways you could join in the military. You could go in as an enlisted or an officer. So with an officer, that is someone that came in with a degree or was enlisted and then went to the officer route. Think about like Star Wars, where there was Orson, the bad guy from Rogue One. So he was definitely an officer, and then an enlisted service member would be stormtroopers, where you see a bunch of them. And most of the stormtroopers, most of the junior enlisted personnel are always just high school graduates, didn't go to college and everything. A good majority of them, kind of like me, I did not go to college. I just graduated right out of high school and went into the Navy. My plan as an enlisted service member to retire early. For this video, we'll cover it for someone going all the way to 20 years, and then the halfway point of 10 years, and even someone that's doing only 4 years. So tap that thumbs up and let's send it. What is up, Money Tribe? Mike Damazo here to help you make sense of dollars. Our mission is to help you get the F out of debt and then build wealth. To be eligible for military retirement pay, you would have to serve over or up to 20 years of military service. The reality of retirement in the military is only about like $25,000 annually, or it could be more depending on what pay grade you left at, how many years you did, and also if you're doing like a high 3 or whatever different pensions are. For me, to keep it simple, I'm doing the high 3, meaning the last 36 months, for me, whatever the highest pay I have, they'll calculate that into my retirement pay. So you're probably wondering, why would someone actually even go 20 years in the military or after 4? Because I definitely didn't even have that plan when I first got in. And even when I was 10 years in, I didn't think I would still be here. But I've noticed like a lot of people tend to stay in because of healthcare. So right now in the civilian sector, it would cost someone with a family $1,200 a month to be able to have health coverage for their family. Whereas someone that does 20 years and then retires, they would only pay up to like $600 annually. Now, these numbers are subject to change depending on when you watch this. But from the last bit of information that I've seen, it is $600 annually. So that's a huge difference between paying $1,200 a month to only $600 a year for a family. Then there's also disability that you can claim. It could be as low as $140 a month to as high as $3,600 a month. So it depends what the percentage of disability you'll get. For those that retire and didn't pass their GI Bill or use their GI Bill while in, you also have that ability to be able to use your GI Bill and go to a college or university of your choice and receive the BAH base allowance housing for an E5 on the location of that school that you're attending. So step 1 of the plan is to definitely get rid of Grace's student loan while I'm still in the military. So it would be before I hit 20 years, and then also move up in rank and build new businesses or invest in small businesses, much like what I did with Scrimshaw Coffee. Now, just a little bit of background. This is the new office setup, as you could see. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Say you're in the halfway mark of your 20-year military career, you're in 10 years to 8 years. One of the things for people separating, don't be fearful with getting out, because you were used to being in the Navy. For me, being in the Navy, separating would definitely be a brand new adventure for you. Did you know that only 1 in 5 people actually get to their 20-year mark of retiring from the military? With 8 to 10 years of active duty service, you already have real-world experience that companies will look for, and it will be beneficial for them to hire because they get an incentive for hiring veterans as well. It's completely normal to get out at your 8 to 10 years because, there's definitely a lot of things that you want to do, be it raising family, you missed out on birth, whatever your personal reason is. I just want you to know that it is totally normal. So at 8 to 10 years, or the completion of 1 enlistment, so if you re-enlisted at 3 years, you are already good with attaining and using your GI GI Bill. So what that means is, say you do get out and you do get in trouble or whatever the case is, you get kicked out, worst case scenario, and you may have lost your GI Bill. However, if you already re-enlisted, you are still able to keep that. At your 8 to 10 year mark, you still have your GI Bill available to you if you haven't used it yet. And there's also disability that you can claim once you're in the process of getting out. I can't advise you to get out or stay in. Whatever works best for you is definitely what you want to do. The biggest takeaway that I can provide is to always have a plan after you put on the uniform. So what that means is, if you do separate at 8 to 10 years, have a plan before that time comes. As something that I've always mentioned to people is, we all separate. We could either get out early and become a veteran, or stay long enough and become a retiree. For me, when I was at my 10-year mark, I actually had a plan to go apply at SpaceX, and there was also, at that time, the Australian Navy was recruiting US personnel, so I was thinking about that and getting out at my higher tenure. However, I was fortunate enough to be able to be MAP, which meant I moved up in rank automatically because of the work I was doing at the squadron I was at the time. So, different house view right now. Currently, we're at my living room, and step 2 for us would be to trim down the cost of living, meaning, just being more mindful with our spending. All right, say you only do 4 years and then get out. Completely fine, completely normal. Trust me, that was something I thought of back in the day. And I still can't believe that I'm already here at the end of my own 20-year journey in the military. Well, not that close, but still closer than what I was. Much like the other ones, you'll have your GI Bill available to you. You'll also have your disability and also whatever else your state offers for veterans. At this stage, plan for both scenarios of staying in and getting out. The biggest thing is to have that roadmap for whichever way your career will pivot to. Now, during the first enlistment, I was at my 2-year mark. I didn't even think I was going to re-enlist. I thought I would just do 4 years and then go. I started off as an undesignated seaman, meaning I didn't have a specific job when I got in the Navy. I was literally chipping paint and busting rust, as you would know, for those that started out as a deck seaman. Now, I started off as an E1, and then I thought I would go get out of the Navy, work at a cruise line because that's what I was qualified for, or even the post office because it's a government job from what I thought before. Step 3 for us as I get closer to military retirement is to increase our income. So that's starting the side hustles, creating new businesses, investing in small businesses, and contributing as much as I can to our TSP, and also maximizing our IRA. If you like this video, definitely check out my other one where I talk about the formula for financial independence. And also for next week, we'll cover side hustles. And down below, I'll put an email newsletter that I will be coming out with to talk about personal finance and investing updates. Tap that thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. Sound off in the comments down below if you have any questions. You have to be able to help. High five that subscribe if you haven't already. Stay legendary, and I'll see you in the next video.